The storm did not announce its arrival with thunder. It crept across the central plains in silence, heavy and suffocating, as though the heavens themselves were holding their breath. After the Alliance army's withdrawal, calm returned on the surface, but beneath it countless undercurrents churned. Everyone could feel it. An era was coming to an end, and a war that would decide the fate of the entire continent was quietly taking shape. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. How hateful! To think they still managed to escape. Lei Ying and the others clenched their teeth, resentment burning in their eyes as they stared at the spot where the black hole had vanished. None of them had expected that even with the combined might of the three great clans and the Sky Mansion Alliance, they would still fail to detain the Hun Clan. The strength the Hun Clan has revealed far surpasses everything we knew of them in the past. Yan Jin's expression was solemn. From a certain perspective, the current Hun Clan was no longer an opponent that any single faction could face alone, not even the Gu Clan. This realization sent a chill through his heart. Had the three clans not joined forces, they would likely have been destroyed one by one. In that case, the fate awaiting the Yaoling and Shu clans would have been no different. The Hun Clan has hidden itself far too deeply over these years. Gu Yuan's hair was disheveled, and his face bore an unusually heavy expression. They had always believed that even if the Gu Clan could not suppress the Hun Clan, the two sides should at least stand on equal footing. Yet today's cruel reality had shattered that illusion completely. The Gu Clan was simply no match for the Hun Clan. Hun Tiandi was right. After the fall of the Xiao clan back then, there was no longer a single faction on this continent capable of contending with them. Unfortunately, it is only today that we have truly understood this truth. Gu Yuan let out a long sigh, regret surfacing in his heart. If the Xiao clan were still present, no matter how bold the Hun clan might be, they would never have dared to provoke such a war. Lei Ying and the others could only let out bitter laughs upon hearing this. Such words came far too late now. What should we do next? Xiao Yan broke the silence after a brief pause. At once everyone turned their gaze toward Gu Yuan. Seeing this, Gu Yuan pondered for a moment before finally speaking. The Hun clan has already obtained all the Tushi ancient god jades. Once they have time to recover, they will undoubtedly piece them together and uncover the location of the Tushi ancient god mansion. The only thing we can do now is to closely monitor their movements. The moment any of their experts make a move, we follow them in secret until the mansion's location is revealed. If we spy on them, I fear the Hun clan will slip away unnoticed. Lei Ying frowned. By the time we realize it, they may have already entered the ancient god mansion. This was precisely what the Hun clan excelled at. When they quietly annihilated the Ling Shi and Yao clans, no one had sensed anything amiss. This time I will personally keep watch over them, Gu Yuan said in a deep voice. He fully understood the gravity of the situation. If the Hun clan successfully opened the mansion and obtained the secret to advancing into the Dodi realm, there would be no chance left to turn the tide. Before a true Dodi, the so-called Alliance army would be nothing more than ants. Only then did everyone nod in agreement. There will inevitably be a great war once we reach the Tushi ancient god mansion. Gu Yuan continued, his expression solemn. This time, even if countless lives are lost, we must not allow the Hun clan to do as they please. Everyone nodded gravely. They all understood that failure at the mansion would mean sharing the same fate as the other three clans. If they wished to preserve their bloodlines, they would have to fight to the death, no matter the cost. The victor lives. The defeated perish. The army will remain stationed at the Sky Mansion Alliance for the time being and strictly monitor the Hun clan's movements, Xiao Yan said decisively. Additionally, I believe we should use this opportunity to completely eradicate all branches of the Hall of Souls across the Central Plains. The Hall of Souls. Lei Ying and the others pondered briefly, a fierce glint flashing in their eyes. They were all too familiar with the Hall of Souls' actions over the years, collecting souls from every corner of the land. Judging by the situation now, the revival of ancient Hun clan experts, such as Hun Yuantian, who should have long since perished, was likely connected to this very organization. In that case, let the Alliance army camp at the Sky Mansion Alliance, Gu Yuan said, offering no objection. Located at the heart of the Central Plains, it will allow us to keep a close watch on every move the Hun clan makes. Xiao Yan smiled and nodded. Then he turned toward Yao Lao and said, Teacher, I'll leave the matter of managing the army to you. Ha ha, rest assured, Yao Lao stroked his beard and laughed. Though the alliance may lack in certain areas, space is something we have in abundance. Accommodating everyone will not be a problem. Besides, he paused, eyes filled with meaning. The position of alliance chief was already transferred to you before the army set out. You are far more suitable than I am to hold this role now. Xiaoyan was momentarily stunned. Seeing the smile on Yao Lao's face, he could only nod helplessly. The alliance was growing stronger by the day. It truly required a powerful leader. Though Yao Lao possessed immense prestige, his strength fell short. Xiaoyan taking the helm would undoubtedly stabilize the alliance further. After giving a few additional instructions to Yao Lao and the others, Xiaoyan suddenly turned toward Kai Lin and Xun, saying softly, "The two of you come with me." With that, Xiaoyan shot off toward a distant mountain. Kai Lin and Xun immediately understood his intention. Their faces flushed slightly as they tightened their grip on each other's hands. Despite having faced vast armies without fear, their hearts now inexplicably filled with nervous anticipation. They exchanged a quick glance, silently encouraging one another before gently biting their lips and following after him. Xiaoyan landed atop a distant mountain peak. The alliance experts stationed there hurriedly rose to their feet upon seeing him bowing deeply with expressions filled with reverence and awe. "Alliance chief, I've troubled everyone." Xiaoyan waved his hand dismissively as he walked straight toward Xiaojan, who was carefully guarded at the center. He bowed respectfully and asked softly, "Father, are you all right?" Xiaojan looked at the slightly slender young man before him, the same pair of hands that now seemed capable of battling the heavens themselves. His eyes grew moist once more, pride and relief surging in his heart. Though he had been some distance away earlier, he had clearly witnessed the earth-shattering battle. The terrifying strength Xiaoyan had displayed left him both exhilarated and comforted. During his years imprisoned by the Hun Clan, he had come to understand just how dreadful they truly were. Yet even such a fearsome enemy had suffered heavy losses at the hands of his youngest son. "Yana, you've grown." Xiaojan's rough, calloused hand patted Xiaoyan's shoulder. Long ago, when everyone believed this former genius of the Xiao clan was destined for ruin, only he had stubbornly held on to faith. Decades later, that so-called useless youth from Wutan City now stood at the pinnacle of the continent, gazing down upon all beneath the heavens. A sharp ache pierced Xiaoyan's heart as he looked at his father's aged face. He forced a smile and stepped slightly aside, revealing two breathtaking figures behind him, so beautiful that even the world itself seemed to pale in comparison. "Uncle Xiao, do you still remember Xun?" Xuna's cheeks flushed lightly as she bowed with gentle grace. "Xun." Xiaojan froze for a moment before recognition dawned. Joy instantly surged across his face as he recalled the most radiant and mysterious young lady of the Xiao clan, from years past the daughter-in-law he had once secretly admired most. Yet her lofty status had made such thoughts nothing more than wishful dreaming. He had even scolded Xiaoyan many times, warning him not to grow too attached. Hey, Father Xun is now officially a member of our Xiao clan," Xiaoyan said with a laugh as he stepped forward. "Good lad. You truly haven't disappointed your father." Xiaojan's aged face broke into unrestrained joy as he slapped Xiaoyan firmly on the back. Xuna's face turned crimson at their exchange, her beauty becoming even more dazzling. And who might this be? After a moment of happiness, Xiaojan's gaze shifted toward Kai Lin, who stood quietly to the side. Her bewitching and alluring aura remained, yet the cold sharpness of her beauty had softened considerably, replaced by an unexpected gentleness that left Xiaoyan momentarily dazed. "Ahem, this is also your daughter-in-law." "Her name is Kai Lin," Xiaoyan said awkwardly, coughing lightly. Xiaojan's face twitched. He silently gave Xiaoyan a thumbs up. "Father, you've likely heard of Kai Lin as well. She is also known as Queen Medusa," Xiaoyan added with a laugh. Queen Medusa. Xiaojan's heart trembled. Though he had encountered many powerful figures in recent times, the name Queen Medusa still carried a lingering terror for him. Back then, throughout the entire Jiama Empire, it was a name no one dared even whisper. To think that the queen who once terrified multiple empires had now become his daughter-in-law. "Uncle Xiao, that was all in the past. You may simply call me Kai Lin." Kai Lin smiled sweetly, then shot Xiaoyan an icy glare, silently warning him not to bring up old matters. Xiaoyan could only smile helplessly in response. Turning back to Xiaojan, he said warmly, "Father, let's return to the Sky Mansion Alliance first. Your granddaughter is waiting for you there as well." I'll also bring big brother and second brother over. Our family will finally be reunited. Granddaughter. Xiao Zhan's mouth fell open as a storm of emotions surged within him. This little brat, wasn't he a bit too efficient? After the Alliance army withdrew to the Sky Mansion Alliance, the entire Central Plains was instantly thrown into turmoil. The three great ancient clans, together with the overlord of the Central Plains, the Sky Mansion Alliance, had formed an alliance army so terrifying that words alone were insufficient to describe its might. Any faction that dared oppose it would be reduced to dust beneath its overwhelming power. However, the shock and panic that swept across the land did not last long. Soon after, news of the all-out war between the Alliance army and the Hun Clan spread like wildfire. The earth-shattering battle that had taken place at the Burial Mountain Range was simply too immense to remain hidden. It was impossible for a clash of such magnitude to escape attention. Thus, almost the moment the battle ended and the Alliance army withdrew, news of it began to spread to every corner of the Central Plains. Some factions that had previously harbored conflicts with the Sky Mansion Alliance quietly breathed a sigh of relief upon learning that the true target of the Alliance army was the Hun Clan. Yet not long after, those with keen instincts could already sense it. The most terrifying storm in 1,000 years was about to sweep across the Central Plains. This storm would be unimaginably fierce, far surpassing any war that had occurred in the past. Faced with this impending catastrophe, countless factions grew deeply uneasy. A confrontation between such terrifying existences would undoubtedly bring about devastation of unimaginable scale. For the factions residing within the Central Plains, this was a danger that could not be underestimated. Even being lightly brushed by a war of this level could spell total annihilation. As a result, factions located near the Sky Mansion Alliance hurriedly abandoned their territories after the Alliance army set up camp. They feared that once the war erupted, even a single stray attack could drag them into calamity and doom their entire lineage. Xiaoyan and the others paid little attention to the commotion across the Central Plains. Though the Hun Clan had committed countless atrocities, it was clear that most factions would not dare declare war against them. In the face of such a colossal conflict, everyone preferred to remain neutral. As such, Xiaoyan and his group had no intention of forcibly dragging these factions into the same boat. Once the massive army returned to the Star Realm, it quickly became busy once more. Fortunately, Yao Lao and the others were in charge of overseeing matters, sparing Xiaoyan the trouble. After all, management had never been his strong suit. Upon returning to the Star Realm, Xiaoyan finally let out a sigh of relief. Even he had felt exhaustion after such an intense and prolonged battle. Thus, while Yao Lao and the others busied themselves with settling the Alliance army, Xiaoyan brought Xiaozhan Shun-Er and Kai Lin back to the mountain peak that belonged exclusively to him. The moment news of Xiaoyan's return spread, Xiao rushed over. She appeared before them in a flash, throwing herself into Xiaoyan's arms and stubbornly refusing to come down. "Come, Xiao, greet your grandfather," Xiaoyan said with a smile. Xiao had begun to grow increasingly lively and adorable. Coupled with the naturally bewitching charm she inherited from her mother, she was already striking despite her young age. One could easily imagine that when she grew up, she would become another peerless beauty, capable of toppling nations just like Kai Lin. Hearing Xiaoyan's words, Xiao blinked her large black eyes and looked at the unfamiliar old man beside him. Though he was a stranger, she obediently called out Grandpa. "Ah, good granddaughter." The moment Xiao appeared, Xiaozhan's gaze had already been fixed upon her. His aged face flushed slightly with excitement. When he heard her call him, the wrinkles on his face spread into a radiant smile, his eyes narrowing as he replied eagerly. Xiaoyan smiled helplessly at the sight. Xiaozhan seemed even more excited now than when they had reunited earlier. Elderly people truly adored children. After all, to them, the continuation of the bloodline was the most important thing of all. "Come, let Grandpa give you a hug." Xiaozhan reached out with a laugh, firmly pulling Xiao from Xiaoyan's arms. His beard-bristled face rubbed enthusiastically against her soft cheek, prompting Xiao to frown and protest. "Beard hurts." "Haha." Xiaozhan burst into laughter, tears even forming at the corners of his eyes. During the decades he had been imprisoned by the Hun Clan, despair had once consumed him completely. After witnessing the terrifying power of the Hun Clan, he had found it nearly impossible to imagine escaping alive. At times, he had even hoped that Xiaoyan would not attempt to rescue him. It was simply too dangerous. Yet now, standing before this scene, Xiaojan realized that even with all the confidence he had always placed in his son, he had still underestimated Xiaoyan's capabilities. This warmth of family reunion was the greatest treasure in the world for someone like Xiaojan, who had once fallen into utter despair. Seeing this, Xiaoyan clenched his fist tightly. Kailin and Xun standing nearby could not help but feel their eyes redden. "Father, let us rest for now," Xiaoyan said with a gentle smile. "I happen to be free during this period. I'll help you recover your health." He then turned to Kailin. "Send someone to the Jiama Empire and bring my brothers here. Tell them, Father is waiting." Kailin nodded softly before turning and leaving. Xiaoyan exhaled slowly as he watched her graceful figure fade into the distance. In his heart he murmured, "Big brother, second brother. I have finally fulfilled the promise I made to you both." The days following the great battle were unusually peaceful. The Alliance army stationed at the Sky Mansion Alliance made no major moves. Yet the oppressive atmosphere of an impending storm did not dissipate. On the contrary, it grew heavier. Everyone knew that this would be the decisive clash between two extraordinary powers. The cataclysmic battle at the Burial Mountain Range had inflicted losses on both sides, forcing them into a brief period of quiet. Each side was using this precious time to recover and prepare for the ultimate confrontation. While the army rested, the upper echelons of the Alliance did not. The moment the army arrived at Falling Star Pavilion, Gu Yuan immediately entered seclusion. Everyone understood he was personally monitoring the Hun Clan. With him keeping watch, any movement within the Hun realm would be detected instantly. Yet during this time, the Hun Clan remained eerily silent, as though they had vanished entirely after obtaining the ancient jade. Several days passed in the blink of an eye amid this stalemate. Once the Alliance army had sufficiently recovered, they finally launched their next operation. This time their target was the Hun Clan. Experts were methodically divided into numerous groups, flying out from the Star Realm in an orderly fashion. They conducted a sweeping carpet-like search outward from the Sky Mansion Alliance, hunting for the branch halls of the Hall of Souls. Under this relentless scrutiny, the Hall of Souls branches were exposed one after another. Yet when the Alliance army stormed these locations, they found them completely empty. Only a handful of branches still had guards remaining, and such resistance was utterly meaningless. Under the Alliance army's overwhelming advance, every branch hall of the Hall of Souls across the Central Plains was reduced to ruins. Even the crucial Heaven and Earth halls were obliterated. From that moment on, the once notorious Hall of Souls was wiped clean from the Central Plains. The outside world was left utterly stunned. The former overlord of the Central Plains had proven so fragile under the crushing might of the Alliance. However, while the public marveled, Xiaoyan and the others frowned. It was clear that the Hun Clan had anticipated this outcome and had already withdrawn the Hall of Souls. More importantly, the spiritual essence stored within those branch halls had also been transferred away. The Hun Clan's decisiveness was evident. They knew it was impossible to defend the Hall of Souls against the Alliance army. In that case, they simply abandoned it. After all, the Hall of Souls had already fulfilled its purpose. Whether it survived or not was irrelevant. Once their grand plan succeeded, rebuilding several new Hall of Souls would be trivial, and by then the entire continent would lie beneath their feet. With the Hall of Souls destroyed, the Alliance army withdrew once again, positioning itself outside the Hun realm, under countless watchful eyes prepared for any sudden developments. During this time, Xiaoding and Xiaoli also arrived through the already established wormhole, traveling directly from the northwestern region to the Star Realm. The reunion between father and sons was deeply moving, leaving many onlookers with reddened eyes and aching hearts. Who could have imagined that the once ordinary Xiao clan would be torn apart by the sudden emergence of the Hun clan? With his brother's arrival, Xiaoyan finally enjoyed a long-lost period of familial warmth. He also inquired about the Yan Alliance, which he had founded years ago. It had now become the undisputed strongest faction in the northwestern region. However, Xiaoyan had no intention of mobilizing it. From the perspective of the Central Plains, it was merely a strong faction, not enough to influence the larger war. After savoring this brief peace, Xiaoyan refocused his mind. The matter of the Toshi ancient god Jade weighed heavily upon him. Though his soul had already reached the D state, he was still far weaker than a 9-star Dosheng, like the Nihility devouring flame. Before the Hun clan discovered the Toshi ancient god cave, he had to strengthen himself as quickly as possible to gain additional trump cards against such an enemy. Yet at his current level, rapidly increasing his strength was an extraordinarily difficult task. After long contemplation, Xiaoyan finally set his sights on the 9 mysterious golden lightning sealed within little Yi's body. Now that his soul had entered the D state, he finally possessed the ability to refine the power that had once left him utterly helpless. That's all for today's content. See you in the next part. Support me by becoming a member. It will give me more motivation. Thank you so much.